Good morning, Africa. Good morning to the world. Huva huomita Suomi, huva huomita kaikille. And True Life of an African Child is here. The aim of this program is to inspire young African youth to focus on education and entrepreneurship. I think in life sometimes we are stranded on the way and it's difficult for us to achieve our dreams. And taking role models from others being our role models, or hearing the stories of other people who are making it, Africans will be able to, African you will be able to gather their pieces, the challenges that they are facing, and will be able to uh, achieve what they are dreaming to be, or be able to tackle their challenges in life or in their career. And so, True Life of Africa Child simply we share our life story, our educational life story, and hope that these stories will inspire young African youth to focus on education and entrepreneurship and taking them as role models. So today I have Linda, Mrs. Omadal. Anyway, she will introduce herself to us. Uh, Kuba Huomita, Linda.
Huomenta.
Yo.
Yeah.
So please introduce yourself to us.
Okay, thank you, Veronica. So, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me for your show. So, my name is Linda Omodara, and I am many things. First of all, I am a politician in Finland. Before that, I'm originally from Nigeria, but currently a Finnish national. Um, I where do I start from? Okay, so first of all, I'm a politician. I'm a member of the Finnish council in Oulu, and there a deputy councillor, and also a deputy member of the Education and Culture Board in Oulu. And in addition to that, I'm an advocate of the United Nations in Finland. I'm representing the United Nations Youth of Finland as the education and training coordinator. By this, I mean I'm in charge of going around Finland and teaching children and young adults about human rights and sustainable development. So, in addition to this, I'm a researcher, doctoral researcher at the University of Oulu, and my major is on sustainability. And I'm also I'm also an entrepreneur. I have a startup company called Edu Gaming App World, where I build educational gaming learning app for children and young adults. And I'm also a mom to three young children. I think that sums it.
Okay, great to hear. Thank you very much. But you would like to start with your educational journey. How did you start your life as a child? And
Okay,
you
yeah.
have been able to get to where you are today.
Okay,
How did you start?
so that's a very interesting question that I love to like talk about. So growing up as a child, I think as early as 4 years old, I was interested in books and started reading independently. So I was that child that loved to read naturally. I went to primary school and secondary school in Nigeria, and I went to a boarding school. So I think during my secondary school, I had some challenges then in the beginning because I would say that I'm not a gifted child, but in some subjects I excel, in other subject not so much. So I had some challenges in some subjects back then, but how was I able to overcome it? I like, how will I put it? I self-grown myself. Yes. So I'm the kind of person that is like a critical thinker. Like, for example, if I don't do well in a particular subject, I sit down and think to myself, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? How can I improve myself? So back then, I spoke to myself and then I improved, I picked up, and I became one of the best in my class before I left secondary school. And then I moved on to the University of Lagos in Nigeria, where I studied systems engineering. And as you know, I don't know if many of you know about this, but engineering is full of lots of mathematics, physics, electrical engineering part of it, and like different technical knowledge and skills that you require to succeed in that. So in the beginning, I also encountered some challenges, and I went back to the drawing board. What am I doing wrong? What can I do to improve myself? How can I like move on? Because you know that in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, whatever grade you graduate from the university with determines to like a lot your success in life. Yeah. So back then, my first grade wasn't so good, and I went back to the drawing board, and I like talked to myself, advised my, and I wrote some tips on how to make it to excel all by myself. There was no Google for me to find out how to know. I just sat myself down, like try to like think critically, and then on I went on and I started excelling, and I finished very strong and very well. And so after that, I decided to move to Finland in 2011. But then I decided to change my discipline. Why did I decide to change my discipline? I changed my discipline to environmental engineering, so which is what I am right now. So I was like, I think back then there was lots of talk about climate crisis, and then where I lived in Nigeria, there was lots of like environmental issues, pollution, and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, there is a need to solve this challenge of climate crisis, and I need to be a part of the solution to this problem. So that was why I decided to study environmental engineering at the University of Old. And when I came here, it was from in my academics. I think I had grown to a level whereby I didn't have so much challenges. Yeah, so it was like I would call it like a very smooth sailing. My master's degree here, 2 years, it was very smooth, and I came out with distinction grade. And then after that, I moved quickly to start my my doctoral studies. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Uh, we have heard your educational life. So, which state of Nigeria do you come from?
Okay. So I come from Edo State, but I lived and grew up in Lagos State. So
Okay.
like I said, my university was in the University of Lagos. Yeah.
So, I learned that in Nigeria you have three major languages. So, which one do you speak, or what is your dialect?
Okay, so I would say that I don't belong to like the major languages, which is Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa language. I belong to kind of like a minority language, which is from Edo State, which I said earlier. Yeah. So my village is Ora, and our dialect is quite different. But my husband is from Yoruba, and he speaks this Yoruba dialect, and which I also have come to learn and understand as well. So you could say
Okay.
I speak Yoruba.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. So, and you do study science um as your main subject when you were in the secondary school or the university in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So, in the secondary school in Nigeria, I think after the GS level, which is the junior secondary school level, then we have to decide what we want, which path we want to take. Either we want to become science student or art student. So I decided that I wanted to become science student, and the major reason I decided that was from my love of physics. I loved physics, and I still love physics because it teaches us how the integrate nature of how things work. Yeah. You.
So young African ladies, did you hear her? She said she loves physics. If you are a science student and you are afraid of physics, you can pick something from her. Take her as a role model, and physics will be easy for you. Thank you, Linda. Let's go on. Can you tell us a little about like your research? What exactly are you trying
Okay.
to do? What are you looking at?
Okay. So, like I said earlier, my major research is on sustainability and sustainable development. So, basically, I'm looking at researching, developing sustainability assessment tools and using it for critical raw materials. And my focus area on these critical raw materials is rare earth elements. I don't know if you know about it, but it's like a critical metal. You use it in your mobile phone. Like
Yes.
you use it in TVs. It has several applications. We use it in phosphors, batteries, magnets, and so many things. Your computer hard disk drive contains rare earth magnets. So it's a very, very important and critical metal currently. And most, I think many countries don't produce it naturally. They have to like import it from other countries. You understand? Like Europe, they don't produce it here, so they have to import it. So it's a critical metal, and that is my focus area. And for developing this sustainability assessment tools, I have to look at it from the environmental, social, and economic point of view on how to like these three indicators work together to make sure that everything leads to sustainability.
Okay. Thank you very much. And when you were talking about your educational journey, you mentioned that you were not the best student. There were certain times that you already had challenges like actually learn, but you made it. And now even you are doing your PhD, I'm sure you are about ending. I heard you so many times saying soon you end. Uh, Not
Yeah.
just an ordinary PhD, or he's a science student, environmental engineer. She's really doing very well. Are there other challenges and throughout your educational journey, is there some time that you face certain challenges that you think that you should give up in your education? What are some of the challenges that you encounter?
Okay, so if you know, I don't know how many of your viewers know how difficult it is to study in Africa, especially if you're a female, an engineering student at the university. It's very difficult and challenging. So there are a lot of times that some particular courses like presented some very difficult challenge. But let me tell you how I like was able to overcome these challenges. So, like I said earlier, I mapped out plans on how to succeed. And one of the plans is that in my area of weakness, if there are any student listening, please listen very carefully. In my area of weakness, I looked for like the strongest person in that particular subject in my class and made sure that I work with that person. You understand? I work with that person, and we read together, we tackle challenges together, and I didn't stop at that. I went on after I mastered that particular subject. Went on to start teaching other people. You understand? So the second step made it to stick permanently to my mind. Yeah, and so this was how I was able to overcome that particular challenge.
Wow. If you are finding challenges on how to learn in the classroom, get close to the most brilliant student in the classroom, make him or her your friend. You tap something from him and also go and teach someone you think that the person is struggling.
Yeah.
Wow, nice to hear this. Now we go into some other successes you have achieved, especially here in Finland. As you mentioned, you moved to Finland in 2011.
Mhm.
I don't know how many years now. Is it 15?
Not up to that. Is approximately almost 12 years, I think.
Okay, quite
Mhm.
short. And already, I'm aware that you are already involved in politics in Finland and you are really doing well. How did you get into that? What motivated you to go into Finland and how?
Okay, so very early, I think long time ago when I was a teenager, I already knew that I was going to become actively involved in politics at some point in my life. But I was thinking that I'll be in my 50s before I will get into politics. But I think 2 years ago, I discovered something that there is a lot of like gap. What I mean by there's a lot of gap between the immigrant community, which is the minority community here in Finland, and the government, in that we don't have enough representative at the city council, at the parliament. So I discovered this need, and one of the major challenges we're facing is lack of equal access to services and opportunities for every one of us. So I think that's the main reason I went into politics, to make the voices of immigrants and the minority population in Finland heard, to be heard.
So we know that in Finland, I never thought it could be easy as an immigrant to go into politics. How did you start? How did you get into the system?
Okay, yeah. So I have a very close friend of mine. She was a politician. She was in the parliament, and also a city council member as well. So she walked up to me one day that, okay, Linda, I know that you've told me once that you're interested in politics, but I would like you to like consider it at this moment. You understand? I like thought to myself, can I really do this at this moment? Because I have young children, I have my PhD and many other things to think about. But then I was part of the people complaining about the system. I said, okay, why not I do something to change it instead of whining all the time? Somebody has to step up and make a difference to what is currently obtainable right now. So that was the main reason I stepped up.
So how far has the journey been your politics in Finland and what do you think about that?
Sorry, can you come again?
How far is politics in Finland and what have you been involved?
Okay, so basically, Finland politics is mainly have to do with decision making for the betterment of the citizens and everybody that lives in Finland. So as a counselor at the city of Oulu, so basically we look for how we can make life easier for everyone living in Oulu. Like for example, um, how can we make their social life better? How can we make the environment like safe and healthy for everybody, and then also looking at it from the economic perspective, how can we ensure like we provide enough access to job opportunities for these individuals. Yeah. I think there was an issue that was brought out, like we have some parts of Olo that they don't have like lots of immigrants there. Yeah, so we are discussing about that now, how to like build um affordable housing for immigrants to also have access to this area, because if you know, it's not good for a particular set of people to be like how would I put it, to be in one particular area. They need to be like equal access to everything. Yes. And also another thing is cheaper public transportation, which will encourage people to use buses more often and less car usage, stuff like that.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to ask a follow-up. Are you a citizen in Finland?
Yes, I am. I mentioned that in the beginning, did I?
Okay, so
Yeah.
does it mean that To be a politician, you need to be a citizen, right?
Well, it depends on what you're contesting for. We have three things you can contest for. Local municipal election, which is the election in a particular state or municipality. We have the parliamentary election, which is country-wise, yeah, and then we have the presidency. So for this municipal election, you do not have to be a citizen of Finland, but you need to have continuous residency for 2 years, and then you can contest for it. It's open to everybody that has lived in that particular city for at least 2 years. Yeah, and then but for the parliamentary election, you need to be a citizen of Finland, and also for presidency, obviously.
Okay. Thank you very much for the clarification. If you are immigrant in Finland and you want to join politics, I hope you pick up something from this information.
Mhm.
Viewers, thank you very much for joining. Wherever you are joining us from, just send us hi for us to know that you have joined and your input about this program. Thank you very much, Daniel. Now, Bule, Felicity, thank you for joining. Princess, thank you for joining. Jacob, thank you. Juliana, thank you. Thank you all for joining this program. The program is still on. If you're interested to help, in fact, it has not been easy, but the program will not go off. If you want to support this program in any way, any ideas that you have and you think that it can help this program to grow, you are mostly welcome. Bring your ideas. Let's keep inspiring young African youth. In fact, a lot of us are facing challenges. And I would like to ask Linda, what do you think about politics in Ghana and politics in Finland? I know it's a very difficult question, right?
In Ghana, well, I don't really know about politics in Ghana, but I know about politics in
I mean,
Nigeria.
Africa
Okay,
in general,
Africa.
not Ghana.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, what I think about politics in Africa is that it's not really going well. Why? Because I think they've lost sight of the fact that for you to become a politician, for you to become a leader, you are called to serve the people of the country. But it's like the other way around nowadays. Yeah, they just like put out policies that doesn't even most of the time don't have like real benefits to the people that they are serving. And also I've noticed that there's like lack of inclusivity of young people in politics and decision making. And if there is no if this is lacking, it is very difficult for Africa as a whole to grow. And according to the United Nations, Africa has the largest youth and young people population among all the countries of the whole world. So we are like the leaders of tomorrow. We need to stand up. We need to like be given a voice. We need to make ourselves heard, and things have to change for us to succeed. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to hear these words from you. In fact, the new generation of Africa, we need to make things work for Africa. Things cannot continue this way. And that is one of the reasons why Tula Reflection of an African Child is here. You can be inspired by the stories of others. And we really have to work hard. We cannot continue to be poor. We cannot continue to be fighting. We cannot continue to hunger. A lot of challenges for African youth. And the generation to come should be better than what Africa is going through right now. Are there other successes in your life that you want to share with African youth who wants you to be their role model?
Okay, so I would like to say that I want to target the African youth currently. So the thing is that I've noticed a lot of problems that African youths are currently facing, and one of these problem is like lack of opportunities for them to excel. And for you to have opportunities, you have to first know what are your opportunities. Number one, you need to like grow in your education, focus on your education, excel in your studies. Number two, you need to like gain knowledge. Read. You need to read. You need to read books, you need to read articles, you need to read newspapers, you need to know what is going on around you in your local news. This is very important. Do not like make social media your all in all. And once you gain this knowledge, the second stage is for you to apply this knowledge. Apply this knowledge whenever you see opportunities like coming up. Whenever you see an opportunity, you apply the knowledge and like take a hold of that. That is one. Then number two, there is also a problem of this social media. I've noticed that a lot of times this our current generation is like they are so fixated on social media, and the problem with this is that it will cloud your judgment. You will not be able to think for yourself. You cannot think critically, and also it creates a lot of self-esteem issues. Yeah, if I don't know if you've noticed, but it creates a lot of self-esteem issues. So please I won't say do away with social media. Limit your time on social media and increase your time on gaining vital knowledge and information of which you use to excel in life. So that's very important. Then another issue facing African youth is drugs and substance abuse. So, because of the challenges, I know living in Africa is not easy because there's lots of challenges. So, many youths like turn to drugs and substances for like a means of escape. Other turn to social media as means of escape. So, please, what the problem with substance and drug abuse is that when you are in it, it's very difficult for you to come out. It clouds your sense of reasoning, it clouds your sense of judgment, and at the end of the day you will not be able to amount to anything. So it's important not to even get into it, and if you are already in it, you need to seek for help to get out of it. So that I think that's the major problems that I've seen facing the youth. And yeah.
Yeah, I also think same way. I think social media actually has a lot of negative influence on African youth as well. And if you realize these days, a lot of negative things are happening among young African youth, and these are some you have mentioned, including stealing, armed robbery, and all those things that we see. We see these days a lot of little children are getting lost in Africa, and we don't know what they use these little children for. All these are results of the negative influence of social media, and that is why I always say that through life reflection of Africa want to solve some of these challenges because since the youth really want to come to social media, they want to explore a lot, and when they come they watch so many things. Pastors come to say, if you want money, do this, do that, and then they watch and they want to apply that. And it doesn't work that way. Life is not that way. I always think that if you want to succeed, you really want to study hard. As Linda told us, you really have to know your purpose and start from what you want to do. You need to read a lot and use your time efficiently so that you can achieve your dream.
Absolutely.
Make Linda your role model. If you are a female and you want to be a scientist, make her your role model. She's also a politician and a great entrepreneur. Please tell us more about your business, please. A little about your business.
Okay, so I formed educational gaming app because of the need. And the need is that there is not enough like genuine educational apps for kids in the App Store and Play Store currently. So I think my first major app is a time like teaching kids how to learn, kids clock learning app. So it teaches kids how to learn the time. and it enables them to like, how will I put it now? It enables them to really learn. So it starts from the ground up. So if a kid doesn't even know how to read the time, it teaches from the ground up. And then I also observed that most of these apps, they have lots of ads. Like, I don't know, if you give your child a phone to play an app, before the child even begins to learn anything, an ad will just pop up. So this is one of the things our apps do not have. Yeah. So it's basically about creating real, genuine content for children to learn and young people to learn. Yeah, and apply it to the real world.
So mention the name of the app so that we can download for our children to use as well.
Okay, so I have two of them currently. The
Yes.
first one is Kids Clock Learning.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second one is Kids Maths app.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kids Clock Learning is available on both Play Store and App Store, and Kids Maths app is available on Play Store, but we are currently working on it being on App Store as well. Yeah, and
Wow.
there are also lots of interesting things that are in development for young people as well. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Wow. What a great achievement. I know to achieve this, it takes a lot. You have really gone far. I think Africa is proud of you and Nigeria, your country. You are really doing well. The immigrants in Finland, we are happy about your achievement. And we hope to learn from you and also to how will I put it, and also to achieve maybe something greater. Thank you very much, Linda, for the time. Do you have other ways or anything that you want to share with anyone that is watching us this morning?
Okay, so my final words to everyone is have your dream. That's number one. Follow your dreams. Number two. Number three, say no to stereotypes. If anyone tells you you cannot achieve it, tell them that you can achieve it as long as you stay focused on your path and keep on striving to achieve your goal. Yeah.
Have a dream, follow your dream. If someone tells you that it is impossible, tell the person that na lie. Oh. How would the Nigerian say? Is it na lie? Oh?
A lie, yes.
Na lie. Yeah. So everything is possible. Everything depends on you and not on someone thought about you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this time and for sharing your life story with us. Take her as your role model and achieve what she has done. You can even do more than what she has done. Thank you, viewers, for the time and for joining us for this live reflection program. The program will continue to go on. Bring your ideas, bring your suggestions. If you want to host the program, you are most welcome. If you want to get me interested people you think that they can be role models for young African youth, please, you are welcome. I'm open to all the ideas. And the program is for all African youth, the diaspora, wherever you are and you are an African, you want to share your life story on this particular page, please contact me and I'll get you booked for this program. Thank you, viewers, for being part of this show this morning and have a very good day. Hoover Paiva.
Thank you, everyone. Wow. Yeah.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye.